most of the fans of the basketball player are fans of the sport of basketball. But yeah, if you guys thought that people weren't going to care, 1.7 million views.
Have you caught the newest training clip from Caitlin Clark, released by the Indiana Fever? It's absolutely exploded online, amassing nearly 2 million views within just 24 hours. But here's the kicker: almost immediately, Angel Reese's PR team dropped her own training video. Predictably and humorously, Reese's version fell flat, turning what could have been a great showcase into a total misstep. While Clark's video shines brilliantly, Reese's attempt? Let's just say it's more like fool's gold. Prepare yourself for an engaging and entertaining analysis of these two viral videos. We'll dive into the numbers, explore fan responses, and highlight some over-the-top, misguided efforts by Reese to outshine Clark. Think jealousy isn't a factor? Trust me, this is something you'll want to see. Isn't it amazing how every time Caitlin Clark does literally anything, the internet goes into a frenzy? Her most recent workout video has everyone talking, and for good reason. Let's dive into this clip that ignited social media, racking up 2 million views in just 24 hours. It's truly gone viral. But what makes this video so noteworthy? It's not merely Clark displaying her skills. It serves as a comprehensive guide to self-improvement.
If you guys saw this workout has gotten a lot of people excited for Caitlin Clark because she is like directly working on her weaknesses, which I think is a good look. Honestly, I think that's a really, really good look for her because, again, when we're seeing somebody working on their weaknesses and not the glamorous weaknesses.
The video highlights 3 primary areas that Clark is concentrating on. First up is ball handling in confined spaces. While Clark is already exceptional with the basketball, she led the league in turnovers last season. This was mainly because opponents weren't accustomed to her extraordinary passes, though her turnover rate improved after the Olympic break. Additionally, she often faces double and triple teams, creating intense ball pressure. By enhancing her ability to maintain control under such pressure, she's directly tackling this challenge. Next, we watch Clark perfecting her mid-range game, and this is a major development. While everyone recognizes her signature three-pointers and her prowess at finishing at the rim, she impressively shot 62% from under 5 feet last season. Her mid-range shot has been the missing link in her offensive toolkit. Opponents are forcing her to take these shots by incorporating moves like the assist float and the pull-up jumper. By strengthening her mid-range skills, Clark is making herself even more difficult to defend. Lastly, the video highlights Clark's dedication to finishing through contact. She's fearless when driving to the basket, but playing in the WNBA means facing intense physicality, whether it's on purpose or not. By replicating game-like situations and building her strength, Clark is gearing up for the hard hits she'll take night after night. Just look at those arms.
She's back in her natural habitat, back in the lab, playing basketball, and it's got to be a scary sight for the rest of the WNBA if she gets even better, because it's not as if she wasn't absolutely phenomenally elite as a rookie and arguably the best player in the league after the Olympic break.
Clark isn't just putting in the workouts, she's directly tackling her weaknesses. This isn't merely about keeping her current performance, it's about taking her game to the next level, and that should send shivers down her opponent's spines. So, what does this mean for the upcoming season? Imagine a Caitlin Clark who can handle double teams even more effectively, possesses a solid mid-range game to complement her three-point shooting, and consistently finishes strong through contact. Combine that with her limitless shooting range and exceptional court vision that leads to precise quarterback-like passes, It's like granting Superman immunity to kryptonite, along with his flying, heat vision, super speed, and super strength.
So you're starting from a very high place, but as Michael Jordan once famously said, right, the ceiling is the roof. And there really is no ceiling on Caitlin Clark's game because of her vision. I think that the thing that stands out the most to me is her court vision. And when you're able to shoot from deep, the way she's able to shoot from deep.
Clark is already at the elite level. She shattered the season assists record and, as a rookie, led the league in three-pointers in a single game. She's also among the top scorers in the league. But she's not stopping there. Clark is aiming to become unstoppable. This isn't just off-season training, it's a bold statement of intent. Get ready, because an MVP season is on the way. Clark isn't merely looking to improve, she's determined to dominate the court.
There is really nothing you can do as a defense but hope the ball doesn't go in the basket. That's the level of greatness that Caitlin Clark can get to, where the defense's only hope is that she misses.
But there's more to the story. While Clark is hard at work, someone else felt the need to jump on the bandwagon. Trust me, it doesn't quite match her level of commitment. Imagine this. You're Angel Reese's publicist, and you've just witnessed Caitlin Clark's video go viral. What's your next move? The answer might surprise you and has certainly stirred up the WNBA world. Guess what happened next? Angel Reese's PR team went into full panic mode, rushing to release their own workout video. And let me tell you, it looks like a poor reaction that screams desperation, not dedication.
The lack of, proof that she's been in the gym working on her craft, trying to hone her skills after what can only be described as one of the worst shooting seasons anybody's ever seen in the history of basketball.
Let's dive into Reese's video for a moment. Reese is out there showcasing her ball handling skills and sinking shots. It sounds impressive, right? But there's something just not quite right. It's like watching a cover band attempt to replicate a hit song. The notes are hit, but the passion is missing. Now, let's break down the numbers. Clark's video garnered an impressive 2 million views in just 24 hours, while Reese's is trailing with only 200,000 views in 12 hours. At this pace, Reese would struggle to reach even 500,000 in a full day. That's barely a quarter of Clark's impact. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. But here's what's really getting people talking. Where are the Chicago Sky in all of this? You'd expect Reese's own team to take the spotlight, showcasing their star players' off-season dedication. Instead, we're hearing nothing from the Sky and only seeing a hastily put-together video from Reese's PR team, and let's be honest, nobody's impressed. So, what's the real story behind Reese's training? Let's be honest for a moment, this is the same Angel Reese who struggled with a meager 44.5% from less than 5 feet and only 39.1% shooting overall from the field. Those are some of the lowest percentages in WNBA history for someone taking that many close-range shots. You'd expect her workout video to concentrate on, actually improving those shots.
When she was literally the most inefficient player within 5 foot in all of the WNBA. Any which way you put it, she shot bad from the field. All right, she's 6'3" and she plays under the basket, and she shot 39.1% from the field.
When she was clearly the least efficient player within 5 feet across the entire WNBA, no matter how you look at it, her shooting from the field was poor. Standing at 6'3" and playing under the basket, she managed only 39.1% from the floor. Instead of focusing on improvement, we're given a highlight reel that prioritizes appearances over addressing genuine flaws. It's all flash with no real substance. This isn't about getting better, it's about maintaining a facade. It seems Reese is more concerned with her Instagram presence than her actual performance stats. But there's more. While Clark is busy transforming her game, Reese has been making headlines on the red carpet, sharing hot takes on podcasts, and complaining about her salary. There's nothing wrong with building your brand, but when your on-court performance is struggling for attention, maybe it's time to rethink your priorities.
No, my rent is more than that. It's $8,000. I'm living beyond my means.
So what do you think about this? Does Angel Reese have a future career in the WNBA, or is she going to end up being another Instagram influencer who couldn't keep up with Caitlin Clark? Caitlin Clark is changing the game, literally. Her ability to drain deep three-pointers, the kind you usually associate with Steph Curry, has redefined the expectations for women's basketball. It's not just about the range, it's her confidence, flair, and ability to consistently perform at a level we've rarely, if ever, seen before. NBA legends and basketball greats are taking notice, and their reactions are a testament to her talent and impact. Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, didn't hold back in his praise. He highlighted how much Caitlin has done for the WNBA and called for better officiating to protect her from unnecessary fouls and hostility. MJ's message was clear: Caitlin is invaluable to the game, and it's time the league treated her accordingly. Steph Curry, often seen as her male counterpart, has been equally impressed. He's pointed out the similarities in their games, not just the lightning-fast release and jaw-dropping range, but also their ability to elevate teammates and put on a show for fans. As Steph said, she's the total package. But Caitlin's rise hasn't come without challenges. From the start, she's faced criticism and even hostility from some WNBA players. NBA legends like Rick Barry and George Gervin have defended her, calling out the jealousy and disrespect. Barry was blunt, saying the hate comes from fear of her undeniable talent. Gervin added that Caitlin's impact goes beyond the court. She's brought private charters, bigger sponsorships, and unprecedented attention to the WNBA. As Barkley put it, you should be thanking that girl. Yet, not everyone is on board. Reggie Miller sees the adversity as part of Caitlin's journey, arguing that every rookie must prove themselves. Kevin Garnett echoed that sentiment, framing the extra defensive attention and hard fouls as a sign of respect. They both believe these challenges will only make her stronger. The controversy around Caitlin reached a new level when she was left off the U.S. Olympic roster. Critics like Paul Pierce argued it was a missed opportunity for the sport, while others, like Dwight Howard, saw it differently. Howard suggested the break might have been a blessing in disguise, giving Caitlin time to recharge and dominate in the second half of the season. Through it all, Caitlin has stayed focused. Her game has grown faster, sharper, and even more electrifying. Legends like Shaquille O'Neal have praised her ability to silence critics with her play. Shaq, in his signature style, summed it up perfectly. If I say you're not gonna hit that shot and you hit it anyway, you're the truth. What's remarkable is how much Caitlin has already done for women's basketball. Magic Johnson, who has an ownership stake in the WNBA, compared her to young stars like Angel Reese, saying players like Caitlin are shaping the league's future. Magic also pointed out that it's not just about Caitlin being the most popular player, it's about her potential to reach the very top, just like he and Larry Bird once did. Even with all the challenges and noise, Caitlin's journey has been nothing short of transformative. She's bringing in fans, raising the league's profile, and proving that women's basketball is a force to be reckoned with. As Charles Barkley said, the WNBA owes her a lot for what she's done for the game. Caitlin Clark is not just a rising star, she's a trailblazer. Her ability to thrive under pressure, elevate the sport, and handle adversity with grace is why basketball legends, fans and critics alike are rooting for her. Whether it's breaking records or changing perceptions, Caitlin is building a legacy that will be talked about for years to come. Is the WNBA racist? Some would say so, but let's discuss some facts and numbers first. By all means, this was the best year the WNBA has ever had. They set an all-time record for total television viewers, reaching 54 million people. They also set an all-time record for the number of broadcasts that hit at least 1 million viewers. The league saw its highest total attendance in more than 2 decades, with a massive 50% increase compared to last year. The All-Star Game broke new ground with a staggering 10 million fan votes, a more than 500% increase from the previous year. The Indiana Fever, the team Caitlin Clark plays for, managed to set an all-time single-season attendance record for a WNBA team. Beyond that, the league saw a 350% year-over-year growth in subscriptions to their paid streaming service. Add to that more social media engagement, more sellout crowds, more news coverage, and more merchandise sales than ever before. It's the kind of season that WNBA executives likely never imagined was possible. Now, given all these remarkable achievements, how much money do you think the WNBA made this year? How much revenue could such a groundbreaking season bring in? What kind of profit do you think they were able to achieve? Earlier in the year, there were reports suggesting that the WNBA's finances weren't looking great, and now that the final numbers are in, those estimates have proven to be pretty accurate. According to the New York Post, the WNBA lost $40 million this year. Yes, during its best season ever, the league still managed to operate at a loss of $40 million. They exceeded nearly every metric for growth and engagement, and yet failed to turn a profit. This isn't just a bad year financially, it's a pattern. The WNBA has never been profitable in its entire history, and at this point, it's difficult to see how that could ever change. It's a concept fundamentally at odds with reality, because the majority of Americans simply aren't interested in watching women's basketball. Even during a record-breaking year like this one, the numbers show that interest still isn't enough to sustain the league financially. This backdrop makes Caitlin Clark's recent interview with Time magazine particularly interesting. Time, which still exists, recently named Clark their Athlete of the Year and featured her on the cover. In the article, Clark made a statement that's simultaneously revealing and controversial. Here's the part that stands out, directly from Time magazine. "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege," says Clark. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. There are 2 things happening here. First, Clark is crediting black women with building the WNBA. Without them, she argues, the league wouldn't exist. While this might be intended as a compliment, it's a bit like praising someone for founding a business that consistently loses millions of dollars. However, even this claim isn't entirely accurate. The WNBA was built and is still financially sustained by the NBA. Without the NBA's funding and support, the WNBA wouldn't exist at all. She goes further to say that black women deserve to be elevated and celebrated, which makes it clear why she's saying this. She's protecting her endorsements and her status in the WNBA by endorsing a narrative that aligns with modern progressive ideals. What's interesting is that Clark's words come after and during a season in which she faced relentless abuse on the court. Whether it was being knocked over, poked in the eye, or shoulder checked. Clark was repeatedly targeted, and in some cases, even taunted afterward. Yet, despite this treatment, she's out here claiming that she has privilege. As a white woman in the WNBA, her experience suggests anything but privilege. What she does have is undeniable talent. Clark set records as a rookie, including the most points, the most assists, and becoming the fastest player to reach 300 points. Her performance is the reason she's a standout, not her race. However, her willingness to embrace the narrative of privilege, even after the way she was treated on the court, raises questions about whether she's doing so out of conviction or necessity. The WNBA, for all its growth and engagement, remains a business with fundamental issues. Even in its best year, it couldn't come close to profitability. Clark's commentary highlights the league's reliance on all players, but doesn't address the underlying problem. The WNBA is asking for an audience that largely doesn't exist. The record-breaking engagement figures show progress, but they also show limits. A majority of Americans still aren't tuning in, even when the league reaches its peak. In the end, the WNBA's challenges go far beyond racial dynamics or privilege. The league's financial woes point to a deeper issue: its inability to convert interest into sustainable revenue. Caitlin Clark's remarks may spark conversations, but they don't change the reality that the WNBA is, at its core, a business struggling to justify its existence in the sports market.
Asia Wilson 1, Nafisa Collier 2, Sabrina Ionescu 3, Brianna Stewart 4, Alyssa Thomas 5, and honorable mentions, Caitlin Clark.
Did you catch the latest WNBA bombshell? Caitlin Clark, the rookie powerhouse who's been dominating the courts and shattering records all season, has been shockingly left out of the top MVP conversation. But here's where it gets even more explosive. Asia Wilson, the current MVP, is furious. Why? Because fans and analysts are increasingly saying that Clark's incredible performance deserves the MVP title more than her. How did Clark, with her standout stats and game-changing impact, get sidelined like this? The controversy is igniting intense debates across the basketball community.
She is leading the WNBA in points generated, which means points scored and or points assisted on. She is leading the league by a significant margin, and she is doing this as a rookie with a Fever team that is not comprised of a bunch of all-stars.
Let's dive into the MVP rankings that are making big waves in the WNBA. Leading the pack is Asia Wilson, confidently holding the top spot.
There's no debating it. If you even talk about MVP, you have to be like, well, of course Asia Wilson's running away with it. Like, you cannot even have any kind of constructive conversation around MVP unless you preface it by saying, well, I already know that Asia Wilson won. Like, that's the standard.
Coming in hot at number 2 is Nafisa Collier from the Minnesota Lynx. Every time she steps onto the court, she takes full command of the game, leaving a massive impact on both her team and the opposition. Quiet yet lethal, Collier consistently asserts her dominance, making it impossible to ignore her formidable presence.
And Nafisa can take over the game at any point in time. We've seen her do this on multiple occasions.
Sabrina Ionescu is stubbornly holding on to the third spot, even though some argue she doesn't quite deserve it. Behind her, Brianna Stewart and Alyssa Thomas secure their places in the top 5. But here's the real surprise. Where is Caitlin Clark? The rookie sensation who's been setting the league ablaze with her incredible performances is completely absent from the top 5. Unbelievable, right?
Getting to the honorable mention, they have Caitlin Clark.
You might think there's been a mix-up, but nope. That's exactly how the MVP rankings stand today. Their website even spotlighted Caitlin Clark with this statement.
While the Fever underwent understandable woes in the first month of the season, Indiana is 14-6 over their last 20 games, including 2 massive wins coming out of the All-Star break. Clark has found a synergy with her teammates and elite comfort on the floor as a facilitator and creator. She's knocking on the door of first-team All-W and top 5 finish in MVP voting.
Did you hear that? Caitlin Clark is just knocking on the MVP door? Not quite. Clark isn't merely knocking, she should already have a seat at the top. In fact, Caitlin Clark undeniably deserves a spot in the top 3 MVP contenders alongside A'ja Wilson and Napheesa Collier, and the numbers leave no room for doubt.
Look at their stats. A'ja wipes the floor with both of them. The only categories that she doesn't have are assists, three-point percentage, and free throw percentage. Caitlin has all of those. She is tied for steals with Napheesa.
Let's be honest, A'ja Wilson was outstanding, no doubt. But rookie Caitlin Clark has outshined her in crucial areas like assists, free throw percentages, and three-pointers, even setting the assist record. Clark's on-court impact is undeniable, proving she's anything but average. So why is she being overlooked? It's got everyone puzzled. Some say it's because she's a rookie and the league prefers established stars. Others argue that individual stats don't capture the whole picture. This snub hasn't gone unnoticed. The debate is heating up, with voices like Rachel Demita criticizing the WNBA's MVP selection process. Demita points out that every time Clark elevates her game, the bar for her recognition keeps rising, making it harder for her to secure the MVP title she clearly deserves. Historically, only one rookie, Candace Parker in 2008, has ever won the MVP award. It feels like there's an unwritten rule against first-year players being the most valuable. But why? Are rookies seen as too inexperienced, or is there a bias towards veterans? Clark is challenging this by excelling not just as a rookie, but across multiple facets of the game. As Skip Bayless put it, nobody in the league can flick logo threes as effortlessly as Caitlin can. Clark is now pushing A'ja Wilson for the MVP crown with her exceptional ability to control the game. While Wilson has secured back-to-back championships with a star-studded team, Clark is transforming the Indiana Fever. Before the All-Star break, the Fever were struggling with a 13-27 record. After the break, they flipped the script with a 14-6 run, thanks to Clark's leadership and stellar performances. She's not just scoring, she's elevating her entire team, leading them to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. When comparing Clark to Candace Parker, Clark is already surpassing Parker's rookie stats in assists, steals, three-pointers, and free throw percentage. Her all-around game is setting new standards, proving she's a game changer. Her impact on the Fever is clear, turning a struggling team into one of the league's hottest. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson shines on a team loaded with Team USA players and multiple All-Stars, making her achievements impressive but also supported by a strong roster. In contrast, Clark excels without the same level of star support, highlighting her individual value. The MVP debate in the WNBA is intensifying. Should the award go to the player with the best stats, the one who drives their team's success, or the one who's revolutionizing the game? Clark's season is forcing us to rethink traditional MVP criteria, blending individual excellence with transformative team impact. Caitlin Clark's rise is more than a rookie story, it's a revolution in the WNBA. As she continues to dominate and elevate her team, the question remains, is it time to break down old barriers and recognize the true value players like Clark bring to the league? The MVP conversation isn't over, and Clark is right at the center, challenging us to redefine what it means to be the most valuable player. What do you think? Should the MVP go to the player with the best stats, the one who boosts their team's success, or the one who's redefining the game? Did you hear the latest uproar in the WNBA? Diana Taurasi, one of the league's all-time greats, is openly furious about being compared to rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. Taurasi believes that as a seasoned veteran, she deserves more respect and recognition, pushing back against claims that Clark is outperforming her. Taurasi, who has consistently been a cornerstone of the Phoenix Mercury, feels that the comparisons are undermining her legacy. "I've dedicated my life to this game," Taurasi stated in a recent interview. Being compared to a rookie who's just starting her journey isn't fair. I deserve better recognition for my years of hard work and achievements. But let's talk numbers. Caitlin Clark has been nothing short of phenomenal this past season. She's averaged 22 points per game, leading the league in assists with 9.5 per game, and boasts a three-point shooting percentage of 40%. In contrast, Taurasi averaged 18 points, 5 assists, and shooting 35% from beyond the arc. Clark also holds the record for the most assists in a single season, showcasing her playmaking prowess that has transformed the Indiana Fever into one of the top teams in the league. Clark's impact goes beyond just the stats. She's revitalized the Fever, turning a struggling team into playoff contenders with her leadership and dynamic play. While Taurasi has been a consistent performer, Clark's explosive performances have captured the spotlight, leading many to argue that she's the more valuable player this season. Taurasi's frustration is understandable. After over 2 decades in the league, she's amassed 5 WNBA championships, 2 MVP awards, and countless accolades. Yet, in the eyes of some fans and analysts, a rookie is already outshining her. This has sparked a heated debate about the criteria for valuing veteran players versus rising stars. Critics of the comparisons point out that Clark's all-around game and statistical dominance make her a strong MVP contender. However, supporters of Taurasi argue that experience, leadership, and clutch performances in high-stakes games are just as important, if not more so, than raw statistics. The controversy reached its peak when Taurasi confronted the narrative head-on. "Comparing me to Caitlin is like comparing apples to oranges," she said. "Experience and consistency matter. Caitlin is incredible, but she's still learning. I've been here, building this league, and I expect to be treated with the respect that comes with that." Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to excel, proving that her rookie season is one for the history books. Her ability to score, distribute, and make game-winning plays has earned her a legion of fans and a prominent spot in MVP discussions. As the season progresses, the rivalry between Taurasi and Clark highlights the evolving dynamics of the WNBA, where veterans and rookies alike are pushing each other to new heights. The debate isn't just about who has better stats. It's about what makes a player truly valuable. Is it the ability to dominate the scoreboard, the knack for making teammates better, or the experience to lead a team through tough times? Taurasi and Clark represent different facets of greatness, and their comparison raises important questions about how we honor and recognize talent in the league. As the WNBA season heats up, all eyes are on Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark. Taurasi's call for better treatment of veterans and Clark's undeniable rise are shaping the conversation around player value and legacy. Whether you side with Taurasi's experience or Clark's impressive stats, one thing is clear: the future of the WNBA is bright, with both legends and rising stars driving the game forward. What do you think? Should veteran experience weigh more heavily in MVP considerations? Or should outstanding rookie performances like Caitlin Clark's take center stage? The offseason at the Indiana Fever is on fire. Rumors about NaLyssa Smith are swirling, and tensions between her and Caitlin Clark are reaching a boiling point. Let's dive into the drama and uncover what's really going on once and for all. The Indiana Fever have had an amazing season with remarkable highs and challenging lows, but nothing could have prepared them for the shock caused by NaLyssa Smith's actions, which many see as an unexpected betrayal. Smith's recent behavior has created friction within the team and has fans questioning the future of the Indiana Fever. We'll explore the controversy, fan and teammate reactions, and the potential consequences for both Smith and the Fever. It all started with a tweet. NaLyssa Smith posted a photo of herself in a purple car with the caption, "Purple looks good on us." This innocent post caught the attention of Paige Buchers, a standout college basketball player, who responded with fire emojis. Smith's reply, "You just gotta let him be delusional," sparked rumors about her future with the Fever. The timing was bad, as the Fever were celebrating Caitlin Clark's record-breaking 35-point game, securing the 6th playoff seed after an impressive 18-10 run following a poor 2-9 start. Instead of focusing on their resurgence, Smith's tweet brought attention to internal conflicts. Sources say Caitlin Clark confronted Smith about the tweet, questioning her commitment and highlighting Smith's dissatisfaction with her role and playing time. During the regular season finale against the Dallas Wings, Smith started the game, scored 8 points, and grabbed 6 rebounds in 19 minutes before being benched for the second half. Frustrated, she posted, "Fun while it lasted, babe," in response to her girlfriend's supportive message, hinting at tensions with teammates and coaching staff. The public reaction was swift and harsh. Fans flooded social media with calls for Smith's removal, using hashtags like #TeamCaitlin and #TeamNalyssa. Many felt betrayed by her perceived lack of loyalty, especially given her strong performances and high expectations. Sports analysts debated whether Smith's actions were due to deeper team issues or mere miscommunication. Some defended her frustrations over reduced playing time, while others criticized her professionalism and its impact on team morale. Head coach Christy Sides is in a tough spot, trying to maintain team unity while addressing the backlash. She issued a statement about handling matters privately, but insiders say she's deeply concerned about the situation's impact on the playoffs. Several options are being considered: team meeting and reconciliation, addressing issues directly to encourage open communication, disciplinary action, ranging from fines to temporary suspension to reinforce team cohesion, trade speculations, exploring trade options, though Smith is under contract until 2026. Public apology. Smith could apologize publicly to mend relationships and quell fan outrage. Meanwhile, Nalyssa Smith remains active on social media. Fans are questioning her commitment to the game as she continues to clash out with her star teammate Clark. People are wondering, is this all because of jealousy, due to Caitlin stealing the spotlight? Smith's on-court performance has declined in the last season, averaging 10.5 points and 7.2 rebounds per game, down from last year's 15.5 points and 9.2 rebounds. Her playing time has also decreased from 30.7 minutes in 2022 to 25 minutes now. The Fever exercised their 4th-year option on her contract, securing her through 2025 with a salary increase next year. While her financial future with the team is secure, her role and satisfaction remain uncertain, as it's very likely we will not see her return after this upcoming season. Whether this incident becomes a catalyst for growth or a source of division depends on how the Fever, especially Smith and Clark, choose to move forward. This controversy also highlights the broader impact of social media on professional sports, reminding athletes to balance personal expression with professional responsibilities.
I'm really excited for this new beginning and to build something from the ground up here with the Valkyries.
As the WNBA undergoes its first expansion in nearly 20 years, the Golden State Valkyries step onto the scene, poised to make a significant impact. Kate Martin makes her much-anticipated return to the court, now proudly wearing the new franchise's jersey and shouldering immense expectations. Unfortunately, A'ja Wilson is displeased with this development and appears to hold resentment toward Kate, viewing her actions as a betrayal.
Yeah, honestly, my focus has just been getting better. I mean, all around. I had a decent rookie season, but I just know something that's really cool about me is that my ceiling is very high.
Meanwhile, reigning MVP A'ja Wilson is feeling increasing pressure as she watches rivals and newcomers aggressively enhance their game. With Caitlin Clark already emerging as the next major star, brace yourself for a season that promises a true transformation on the court. Envision the scenario after many years without a significant shift. The WNBA is finally undergoing a substantial expansion. The last time something of this magnitude occurred was nearly 2 decades ago, and now the Golden State Valkyries are stepping into the league with all the fanfare and excitement.
I have a lot of room to grow. Always working on my shot, always working on being quicker, but
Behind the scenes, analysts, players, and fans were restless, eagerly speculating about the names selected in the WNBA expansion draft. Amid corridor whispers, leaked information, and bold assumptions, one name stood out: Kate Martin, officially chosen by the Golden State Valkyries. Her acquisition is poised to shift the league's power dynamics, directly impacting established stars like current MVP A'ja Wilson. With the Valkyries entering the league amidst the first major expansion in nearly 2 decades, Kate Martin becomes a central figure for the ambitious new franchise. Her presence not only energizes the already massive fan base, but also signifies the Valkyries' intent to make a significant mark. This move heightens the competition for A'ja Wilson, who now faces intensified pressure from new teams, emerging talents, and the rising star Caitlin Clark, who is quickly becoming a top contender for the MVP title. The upcoming season is set to be transformative, with the WNBA experiencing a true revolution on the court. The Golden State Valkyries, backed by Kate Martin, are ready to challenge the status quo, while the Indiana Fever are meticulously rebuilding to reclaim their prominence. This creates a multifaceted threat landscape for Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces as they navigate not only traditional rivals, but also fresh talent eager to ascend. Caitlin Clark's emergence adds another layer of excitement and tension. Her offensive prowess, court vision, and magnetic personality position her as a formidable rival to Wilson, potentially leading to a fierce MVP showdown. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever, despite losing some players in the expansion draft, are strategically assembling a team hungry for victory, ensuring that the competition remains fierce and unpredictable. As the WNBA grows with new teams and rising stars, the stage is set for a season filled with tight confrontations, strategic trades, and intense behind-the-scenes maneuvers. The clash between the Golden State Valkyries, Indiana Fever, Las Vegas Aces, and standout players like A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark will define the league's future. Fans can look forward to thrilling matchups and the rise of new legends as the WNBA continues to evolve. The central question remains: who will emerge victorious as the league undergoes these profound transformations? Will Kate Martin lead the Valkyries to success and become their iconic face? Can the Indiana Fever reinvent themselves and challenge the established powerhouses? And will A'ja Wilson maintain her MVP status against the rising threat of Caitlin Clark? These answers will unfold on the court, making the upcoming season one of the most exciting and pivotal in WNBA history.